So it's been about a month since I installed this Dbrand real leather skin on my Pixel Fold, and since that video and in a lot of other videos where I've simply shown this device, I've had people asking, can you give me an update on how this thing has aged? How's it going now that you've had it on there for a while? So that's what we're going to do in this video. I'm going to talk about what this experience has been like, and of course this is specifically talking about the Dbrand leather skin on the Pixel Fold, but presumably this should apply to pretty much any other phone or device that you've put this leather skin onto. This should pretty much be the same thing. So the first thing I want to say is that when I first put it on, the edges were relatively sharp. So when I'm holding it like this and I'm gripping it, you'd feel the sharpness on that edge. But over maybe I would say 2 or 3 days, that pretty much just went away. And now it is very, very soft and smooth. So that is definitely not a problem. I also want to point out that I've had to remove this skin and put it back on 3 separate times for reviewing a case or something like that. And when I've done that, I've started at this corner every time, and I've just sort of started to peel it, and you can see there, maybe you can tell that that's been peeled, but man, if you don't look for it really closely, it's going to be hard to tell. But like I said, I've peeled it off, and then when I've wanted to go back to it, I have just simply put the Dbrand skin back on. It readheres, and it's absolutely fine. So if you're worried, maybe you think I might have to take it off or try a case, you can absolutely do that, and you can reapply it, and it's not going to be a problem at all. What about the overall patina of this leather? Because as it is real leather, it's going to absorb the oils from your skin and things like that. And you can see kind of how I hold this thing. You can almost see where my hand goes. You can see there's a finger there, and a finger there. And then of course sort of my palm more on that side. And if I show you how I hold this device, that is exactly how I'm holding the device, right? So you can see where those oils have transferred and it's darkened. The entire thing has darkened, and you can look up here at the top as an area that I'm effectively never touching, how much lighter that area is when compared to this lower area. So as it kind of softens a little bit on these edges and so forth, it will also be darkening from, again, the transfer of those oils from your skin onto that leather skin. As far as maintenance, I've done effectively nothing. I've heard of people, using leather treatment type things on these to keep it looking a certain way, feeling a certain way, but I've not really done anything, and I can tell you it feels just fine. It doesn't feel like it's wearing down or anything like that. It does have a nice grippy thing going on. When I have taken this off, I'm immediately taken aback by how smooth and slippery this thing feels without that on. It's not, like you've got a proper case to grip onto, but it is definitely adding some grip to it, just like you're gripping onto a football or something like that. It does add a little bit of grip to it. Now, of course, I live in a household with a couple of dogs, so with any kind of skin like this, the biggest problem I run into is that I just pick up little bits of fuzz. Maybe you can see that one there, and then around the Google logo, little bits of fuzz kind of get stuck in there. So that's definitely a little bit annoying, but unless you're like really analyzing it, it's not something that you're really going to see. I do also want to point out that when I first put the skin on, I had just a little imperfection right there, and it is still there, but it definitely looks like it's a little bit harder to see just as it's kind of worn in a little bit, I guess is a way you could put it. It does look like it's a little bit harder to see. So I was worried that that was really going to bug me, but it's pretty difficult to spot now. And if you're worried about, marking it up and things like that with your nail like I just did, if you do that, just using it over the next, couple hours, those sorts of marks tend to go away. The only marks that get left are marks like this, which have just sort of appeared over the course of using it. All in all, this has been an awesome thing to put on this device. I am not using any case on it. I'm not putting anything on this device at all. No pop socket or anything like I normally used on the Z Fold. No kind of grip on the back necessary because this device is small enough that I can one-hand it pretty easily. I don't feel like I need a grip on it. And with this back there, that is definitely aiding to that experience. So it's not a cheap skin, but it is one that I'm definitely glad that I purchased, and it's one that going forward, I might put on more of my devices. Really, really like this skin. I will drop a link in the description down below. It's not an affiliate link because I'm not partnered with Dbrand in any way, shape, or form. This is simply me just sort of passing this along. So guys, there you go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.